pleasant morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another H&L Agro Go Live series where we'll be focusing primarily on disease management in your orchid plants. Now, orchids, like many plants, from time to time, do become infected with a plethora of the diseases. In today's Go Live H&L Agro series, we'll be focusing on disease management, factors predisposing your orchid plants to diseases, preventative practices or measures to addressing many of the problems associated with a good disease management program. We'll be also looking at some of the common fungal and bacterial diseases affecting your orchid plants, selecting the most appropriate products from our H&L Agro line that offers you good protection, curative action, and of course preventative control of your orchids. Doing that, we'll also be looking at product use and application. We'll also briefly mention safety, because with the use of chemical solution, it is ideal to complement use of chemicals with safety, of course. Last but not least, the principles associated with having a good disease management program. Now, our viewers, please feel free to like, share, and send in your questions that will be answered at the end of this presentation. Now, you may be wondering, what is disease management? Now, in simple, disease management encompasses a combination of strategies that is used to eradicate, prevent, or to control many of the microbes that will cause an infection or cause a disease. So in today's program, we're going to focus on disease management, but we're going to look at it from an integrated perspective. So it's integrated disease management program, really. You may be asking the question now, what is a disease? In simple, a disease is a deviation from normal health. And with saying that, several factors can cause or can lead to your plants becoming diseased. In today's feature though, when we speak of a disease, we'll be speaking specifically to those diseases that are caused from microbes, such as fungus and bacteria. So yes, we're looking at diseases that are pathogenic. Now, let's look at one of our first subheadings or titles. Factors predisposing our orchids plants to this disease. What are some of those factors? Unclean environment. An unclean environment just creates the perfect conditions for fungal microbes and bacterial microbes to proliferate and affect your orchid. So ensure that your environment is clean. So one of those factors predisposing our orchid plants to infection is having an unclean environment. Secondly, unsanitary practices, such as having dirty tools or using a dirty tool to actually cut your orchid plants. The recommendation is that you sanitize your tools, especially your cutting instrument, when you're going to utilize them on your orchid plants. And what you can use as a cleaning agent is a 10% bleach solution. Therefore, it's 1 part bleach to 10 parts water. So a 10% bleach solution. Or you can use alcohol, of course, as a cleaning agent. Here today, I have some bleach solution, which I will be using to clean my cicator, of course. And this you can utilize now, since it's clean, to actually cut your plants. And when you're cutting your plants, ensure to cut your plants at a 45-degree angle. So for example, if I'm cutting this vanda here, say there's an infection coming up from below, and I'm removing the portion of the plant that I want to save and as such replant, I will cut it at a 45-degree angle. So remember now, we cut our plants at a 45-degree angle with sterile tool. The next factor which predisposes your orchids to the disease is poor watering practices. Remember, poor watering practices. So the best time to actually water your plant is between the hours of 5 a.m. and 10 a.m. Broken down and stagnant medium. You need to change your medium at least every 2 to 3 years if you are using bark, because bark has a tendency to break down with a 2 to 3 year period. So check your medium to see how bad the mix or your bark mix has gone. If you're using like charcoal and stone, then there's really no need for changing. Good. What we need to look at also is poor and inadequate spacing for your plants. Spacing is important because spacing allows good air movement or passage, so therefore ventilation. Ventilation allows to pull moisture from around your plant, and as such allows your plant to dry. And that is important because if you have a wet, damp, or too much of a high humid condition, that can lead to increased rate of microbial infection. And as I mentioned, too high of a humidity, meaning there's too much concentration of water droplets within the growing environment. Now, to be a keen orchid grower, you must adhere to the following practices. Practice good sanitation as a preventative measure. Purchase disease-free plants. And here at H&L, twice a year we do have a wide array of plants that is sold. Remove weed from your growing area. Keep your environment clean. Use clean medium, so use sterilized medium. Water in the morning, and as I said before, between the hours of 5 a.m. and 10 a.m. Next, observe, observe, observe. Observation is critical, and the basis that if you're observing your plants on a weekly basis, or even twice weekly, you have the ability to observe if there's any change as it relates to the health of the plant or how the plant is progressing, and as such, you can address any issue that is affecting or poses a threat to the health of your plant. So observation is also key. Now, let's look at some of the common diseases affecting orchids, and of course, the chemical solution that H&L Agro affords you, our valued client, in addressing many of these issues. Now, we have what is called bacterial spot or bacterial rot, and this is one of the common diseases that tend to affect orchids, and it can be quite devastating. Leaf, my aim is to remove it immediately. Remove the leaf or the pseudobulbs, and thus preventing the transmission of that microbe onto the rest of the plant. So you need to remove it. Next, you need to use or to treat with what we call a copper-based fungicide / bactericide. And remember, when it comes down to bacterial issue, most fungicides will not give you good control. What you need is something that has copper, thus having the ability to eradicate those bacterial microbes which actually causes the infection. And what we have in our H&L Agro portfolio, hold on, is of course Orchid, which is a lovely copper-based bactericide and fungicide that will give you the sort of protection you need. So in your chemical solution arsenal, you should have a pack of Orchid there in case there's a bacterial or fungal issue. But key to note, copper can be quite toxic to your dendrobium. Dendrobiums tend to show greater phytotoxicity when copper is used on the dendrobium, and as such you may have a bit of bloom fall. But as I tell you, it is always best for you. Right? Good. Next one we need to look at is our water mole. And trust me, water mole can be quite aggressive and cause devastating damages to your entire orchid stock. Now, with this sort of climatic conditions where we are facing, it is warm, but yet you can have sporadic downpours now and then. And the temperature is still warm. It creates a perfect environment for microbes to actually proliferate or grow. This disease that we're looking at now, that is called water mold, tend to be more prevalent during this sort of climatic conditions that we are now experiencing. Now, water molds are actually a fungal group, right? So they are fungus and they cause a disease that is called black rot. Now, how do we treat black rot infestation or a black rot infection? Now, is a dark brown to black discoloration of your pseudobulbs traveling all the way up to the leaf. So it's through your rhizome, up the pseudobulbs, and it can start, it don't necessarily have to start in the root zone. It can start from the leaf in and itself and travel down or within the pseudobulbs, which oftentimes is some of the cases. Now, water molds or black rot tend to spread rapidly or spread fast, so you need to catch it when it starts and address it promptly. What you need to use in controlling water mold is Ridomil. Reason being, Ridomil is both a contact and a systemic fungicide. The active ingredient, metalaxyl, is highly effective against water molds. So if you're having water mold, disease. So, yes, moving on now to botrytis. Now, botrytis is a disease that oftentimes affects the bloom of your plant. So it affects the petals and the sepals. Right? Also, what you can utilize is Amistar, azoxystrobin, that also gives you very good control of botrytis and several other fungal diseases. Now, let's look at another one, and I hope you're following me. Anthracnose. Those are anthracnose. Now, anthracnose tend to infect the aerial portion of the plant, especially your leaf tips. So what you'll see, especially with your Oncidium category of orchids or your dancing ladies and your dendrobiums, it can affect other orchids, of course, like your vandas, your cattlers, and so on. What you'll see is a brown drying of the leaf tip, right? That is brown, turning brown, and it proceeds towards the base of the leaf, right? And this dark patch can appear light brown or dark brown in coloration. What you need to use as a treatment is to use Coside, which I highlighted early on, Amistar, of course, and Bravo, and those will give you exceptionally good control. But with all infection, it's always best for you to also remove the portion of the plant or the portion of the leaf that is Fusarium. And trust me, this disease called fusarium can be quite a handful at controlling. Sanitary tool when you are cutting your plant for the fusarium microbe to actually enter the tissue of the plant and cause an infection. Now, what fusarium does is that it blocks the vascular tissue within the plant, and as such, over time, there will be no sap or water moving through the vascular tissue, and that will result in your orchids appearing wilt. So you'll be watering the orchid, but yet the orchid appears not to be absorbing or to be utilizing the water or the nutrient solution that you're giving it. That's because the vascular bundle or the vascular system of the plant is affected or inhabited by the presence of the microbes. What you will see taking place is that you will have a shriveling or a wrinkled look, and eventually over time the plant will die. So the plant will lose thriftiness, it will lose vigor and just look like it is not progressing. But this can take a bit of time. So infected plants can still bloom, can still give you new growth, but over time it will decrease and the plant will eventually die. What you need to do in addressing the issue of fusarium is to practice good preventative measures. Mean, keep a clean environment, ensure you have sterilized tool when you are cutting your plant, and treat infected plants with Amistar or Bravo. Another recommendation, if the plant is infected, to the outer fringes or edges of the pseudobulb, you see like a purple ring. And that purple ring is an indication that the plant is actually affected by pseudobulb. Now you need to cut in at least into an inch of fresh green tissue that is not affected by the fusarium microbe, but treat with your Amistar to prevent any further infection. Now, orchids, and I want to give you the dosage rate for each of these products. So, of course, grab your pens quickly. Amistar of water. In simple, a teaspoon per gallon of water. We also have our Ridomil with, of course, the active ingredients. One of the active ingredients, your Ridomil is a tablespoon and a half, so that's 22.5 grams per gallon of water, which is 1.5 tablespoon per gallon of water. Next, we have Sancozeb. And Sancozeb offers you good protection. You can use this as a means of prophylactic that you can use on a weekly basis, or should I say in rotation in your spray program to provide good preventative or protection of your orchid plants. Now we want to look at coeside, which I highlight early on. Coeside. We also have Bravo, which is one of my favorite, all-time favorite to use in my pest management program. Bravo is 15 ml per gallon of water, which is a tablespoon per gallon. Also noteworthy to mention is Score. I utilize Score all the while, and I love to combine Score. I love to combine Score affecting your orchid foliage. Good. I also want to mention Rivus, which is a very good protectant. So Rivus with protection, thus fungal microbes is not able to penetrate through the leaf of your plant because the Rivus creates like a shield or a barrier between the fungal spores and the leaf or the plant itself. So of course, add Rivus to your arsenal of products to provide you good protective solution. Now, when treating plants, remember now, we need to reduce leaf wetness. If the environment is a little bit too wet or it's too wet, if it's too high of a humidity, especially under this climatic condition where it tend to stay warm, guarantee you will have greater rates of fungal and bacterial growth or proliferation within the environment. And this can lead to greater rates of infection. So you need to reduce leaf wetness. Next, reduce the humidity within the environment where the orchids are grown. Isolate plants, especially new plants coming into your stock, or plants that is already infected. You need to remove them and isolate them. Also, remove damaged tissue. In an effort to prevent further transmission, remove damaged tissue. And as I said to you, you must use what? Sterilize tools or equipment. Next, treat your orchids accordingly using the appropriate chemical solution. Of course, that H&L Agro affords you, our valued clients. Now, effective fungicides and bactericides on the market, I need to highlight them: Sancozeb, Bravo, Score, Ridomil, Rivus, Amistar. And all these products can be found at all our H&L Agro location, island-wide, and of course, they can also be found at our sister company, Rapid True Value. Now, listen, point of note, do not use copper-based fungicide consistently and then drop them because of the phytotoxicity. It can be used, but you must utilize it with a bit of care, as I highlighted earlier. Now, as part of your disease management program, using pesticides, of course, will afford you quick and effective control of your disease issues. And as I highlighted earlier, chemicals do give you very good control of majority of your fungal issue, but you must also use it with your preventative measures to have a more integrated approach. You can use them prophylactic, which is more preventative, or you can use them as the infection do arise. But with the use of chemical solution, safety is ideal, or safety is at primary importance. And with speaking about safety, it is mandatory that you pay attention to the safety practices. And when I talk about safety, I'm talking about you wearing your personal protective equipment. Example, your goggles, which provide protection for your eyes, your respirator, which provides protection from you inhaling or taking in the product through your nostrils or your mouth, of course. You need to also wear your overall that provides protection for majority of your body, of course. And of course, PVC gloves. And PVC gloves doesn't allow the chemical solution to come in contact with your hands. Good? Now, what we're going to focus on is the principles surrounding a good orchid management program. As I highlighted early on, one, purchase plants from a reputable source, very important. Avoid overcrowding, thus spacing becomes very important. Do not overwater. Majority of the diseases affecting orchid, or majority of orchid problems, right, will arise from too much watering. You must manage your watering. Water between the hours of 5 a.m. and 10 a.m. Control insect pest vectors, because as we highlighted in our first presentation, that focuses primarily on controlling insect. Insect has the ability to transmit certain disease. Always rotate pesticide, and that's of central importance. And you rotate not by way of name, but by way of the active ingredient, right? By way of the active ingredient. Avoid damaging your plant, because damaging the area where the damage occurs can be a portal of entry for microbes to enter your plant tissue and cause an infection. Next, repot. Getting rid of old, spoiled medium. And while you're repotting, remove dead roots. Keep your environment clean. Sanitation, I mean, once you have good sanitation practice, that will mitigate about 90% of your orchid diseases. So good sanitation is of primary importance. Remove infected leaves or infected portions of your plant in an effort to prevent spread or transmission of a disease-causing microbe. Remove and isolate plants. Quarantine new plants and observe. Sterilize tool, as I highlighted earlier. And of course, last but not least, adhere to your safety practices. These steps, very, very simple. And if you practice these from time to time, you will realize, or should I say, if you practice these measures or implement these practices in your disease control program, you will realize that you will get very, very good control of majority or all of the diseases that will or should be affecting your orchid within your growing space. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we move into the question and answers from you, our viewers. Let me just check my tablet to see if there's any questions. All right, I'm not seeing any question as yet. All right, so the questions are not coming in as yet. What I'll do is proceed and I'll check back shortly. So let's move away to the giveaway question. The giveaway question? No, this is where it gets really nice. This is where we at H&L afford you, our clients, to actually win a prize, which consists, of course, of two of our one fungicide, an insecticide, and of course a nutrient, which is Nutrex. So if you are able to answer this question, you will be the winner of this package or presentation that I have in my hand right now. Good, so the first person to answer this question, and the question is, name two fungal infections that affect orchids, and name any two fungicides that can be used to treat these infections. Let me go at it one more time. Name two fungal infections, any two that affects orchids, and name any two fungicides that can be used to treat these infections. Now, one person will be the lucky winner of this package that we have here, our Orchid Care Kit, of course. Okay, Now, as I highlighted early on, um, all these products that you are seeing in my presentation here, they are available at all our H&L Agro location island-wide. I am not seeing a question from our viewers, so I'm going to try to see if I'm able to get the questions. Right. So, viewers, please to continue to send your question in. We are in our question and answer segment, and I know that you are anxious to get many of your questions answered. But this presentation, which I'm doing now, will always be available on various social media platforms for you to view. And if there's any areas that you missed, you can go back and view the presentation. Because a lot of the questions that you ask, there will be areas in the presentation where you can actually find the answer. So we are available presently on several social media platforms, such as Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Okay, good. So here we having our first question, of course. And this is from Pat Safrona. Am I pronouncing that name right? I think I am. Pat Safrona. It says, another thing, I have 2 vandas, healthy and large, but never bloom, though they are over 5 years old. Now, Pat, I have known several growers to have problem with getting their plants blooming. What is critical to blooming, is sunlight. If there's inadequate sunlight, more than likely your plant won't bloom. And this has been the central problem that many persons are having issue with. You need to expose your plant to the maximum amount of light. And how to know if you're giving your vanda the maximum amount of light? You can use the coloration on the leaf. If the leaf give you a light yellow coloration, not yellow as if it is ripening, but a light yellow, and it should be uniform, a light yellow color, it means that you are giving it good lighting. If it is dark green, it means that it's not getting sufficient light. Also, I want to explain to you that some orchids take time to mature, depending on the orchid, I shouldn't say category, the type of vanda that you are having now. Some, especially species plant, depending on the species, it can take quite a few years for that plant to become mature. Also, there's a vanda, the name is not coming to my head as yet, but it needs to attain a certain height above those plants that is within its surrounding before it actually blooms. I'm saying this because the issue affecting blooming can be several. So one, it can be a case where the plant is not getting what? Sufficient light. 2, it can be a case of maturity where the plant is not matured as yet. So at maturity, it will reproduce. And 3, it can be one of those orchids, vanda species from Asia that needs to attain a certain height above the surrounding plants before it actually blooms. Good? We'll also now look at our next viewer question. Hold on. I'm having a little bit of problem here. Okay. Our next viewer question. Is Coreside now available? If not, what is a good substitution? And this is from Lola Marshall Williams. Lola, very good question. But as it relates to the availability of Coreside, yes. Coreside is available at all our H&L Agro stores island-wide. And these stores can be found, one is in Mandeville, next is at Spanish Town Road, Kingston. We also have another store at Main Street, Brownstown, that is in Senton. There's also another store at Fairview Shopping Plaza in Montego Bay, St. James, and we also have at Southfield in St. Elizabeth. So these are 5 H&L Agro location. But as I highlighted earlier on, that some of the products are available at our sister company, Rapid, through Value. And these are found island-wide as well. So you truly don't need a substitution. We do have Coaside as an effective solution for you, Lola. Let's look at our another question here. Coming from Nori. Nori, what is the best time to treat? Morning or evening? Now, the best time to really treat is in the morning. Because remember, you're going to mix your chemical solution in water. And you don't want to have a continuously wet environment. So the best time to treat is in the morning. So by the evening, majority of the humidity surrounding the plant, the wetness, the plant will have enough time to become dry. And this won't create that kind of high humid environment that can lead to fungal infection. So yes, the best time for you to treat is within the morning. Let's take another question. How often do you spray the orchid? Now, you can spray once per week, or you can spray bi-weekly. But this has a lot to do with your practices as a grower, your management practices. If your orchids are in very good condition and you keep a well clean, sanitized environment and you keep up to the preventative practices, you realize that you probably don't need to go in on a regular basis. So you probably can focus more on a prophylactic approach or treatment, which is like once bi-weekly, which is two weeks, right? Or it can be up to even once every 4 weeks, but it depends on your management practices. But standard persons tend to go in on a weekly basis with a good preventative or a good fungal solution to treat in an effort to prevent orchid diseases from invading or affecting their orchid plants. Now, next question. You forgot to mention the amount of Rivus to be used. Sorry about that, but I appreciate that. It is 1 teaspoon per gallon of water, which is 5 ml. 5 ml or 1 teaspoon per gallon of water for your Rivus. And thank you, Sane, for that question. Next, please repeat the quantities to be used for each fungicide per gallon. Let's look at them. So Rivus is 1 teaspoon per gallon of water. Your Ridomil is 1.5 teaspoon. Your Mancozeb is 2 to 4 tablespoons. Oh, let's go back to the Ridomil. It's actually 1.5 tablespoons, which is 22.5 grams. And your Sancozeb is 2 to 4 tablespoons per gallon of water. Good? Your Amistar is 1 teaspoon per gallon of water, or 5 ml. Your Coaside is 60 grams per gallon of water, which is 4 tablespoons. Your Bravo, of course, is 1 tablespoon, which is 15 ml. Your Score is 2.5 ml to 5 ml. So it's 1/2 to 1 teaspoon per gallon of water. Is there any more here that I leave out? No, I think that is it for the fungicide. I hope you are able to catch the dosage rate. But if there's any doubt, please to contact us and we will be able to provide you with all the information. Also, as I highlighted earlier on, this presentation will also be available on several social media platforms, so you will always have the opportunity to look back to get the dosage rates. Right? So we'll take the last question, and the last question here is from, let me see now, Willie Ramirez. How often do we need to change the medium or soil of our plants? What do you recommend to treat the new medium? Very good question, Mr. Ramirez. No, how often? No, it depends on the medium, and it depends on your environmental condition. The reality is this. If you have a hot, humid climatic condition, then you will realize that deterioration of organic matter tend to progress a bit more faster. Right? That is the reason why I said earlier that you need to check. But on standard, your your better grow orchid mix generally is comprised of bark. Your bark breakdowns in about 2 to 2.5 years. So anywhere between 2 and 3 years, you should be getting ready to actually change your medium. If you are using gravel, which is we call igneous rock or granite rock, and charcoal, those don't break down, so you won't have the need to actually change the medium. But as the plant gets bigger, what you will actually need to do is to get it in a new pot. But it is always good for you to sterilize your medium. When starting with fresh, new medium, you can either use hot water as a treatment, so you can put that medium in a bucket or container and pour hot water on that. Cover it for a good 15 minutes, and that will allow you to kill majority of the microbes. Also, it also allows the bark to absorb enough water. So when you are planting, it is not as hard and dry and tough to work with. So you'll have the bark having some amount of moisture as well. Okay, so that was our last question. Now, our giveaway question is here. Let me see. Just give me a second. How do I get the hold on? Applied. Good. Now, going back to our giveaway question, remember, for the first viewer to actually get this question right, and the question goes as is, name 2 fungal infections that affect orchids, and give the name of any 2 fungicides that can be used to treat each. Remember, that lucky winner will be getting our orchid care kit, which is comprised of a fungicide, an insecticide, and of course a nutrient, Nutrix. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I do hope that you have benefited from this HNL Agro Go Live presentation. I hope you do find it informative, and you will utilize the information given in making adjustment to your practices so you can better grow your plants. Thank you for watching, and join me next Saturday at the same time here, where we teach you how to take care of your orchid plants. HNL Agro, grow, protect, harvest. Thank you.